This video might make you so much money from your audience that it feels illegal, or maybe increase your revenue so much you start questioning why it took you so long to figure it out. My name is Benham Pilton. I run CreatorFlood.com, a growth partner company that generated over $304,000 US in the past 6 months, and we won school games while we were at it. If you're a creator and you ever felt like you're not making enough content, but then you also have to teach students, send emails, come up with a good offer, get better at sales, use AI, or you're just making content right now and you have no idea how to actually monetize your audience, then I'm going to break down this creator's funnel in 5 steps and show you exactly what he's doing right so you can make so much money from your audience that it feels illegal. Step 1, we're going to go through his audience and his market. So who is he targeting and what is his niche? Step 2, we'll break down his offer in specific detail and see if it's a no-brainer. Step 3, we'll go through his content. Is he actually bringing out the biggest pain points of his audience? Could anything be improved? Step 4, we're going to go through the journey as a client from zero to actually buying something from him. What does that look like? Step 5, I'm going to give you my final thoughts and improvements that can be made so you can just copy this and make so much money from your audience it feels illegal. So step 1 is his audience and his market, okay? If you look at his Instagram bio, you see it says build and run high-performing sales teams for info businesses, okay? It also says advanced sales coaching. Now, this means that he's targeting 2 types of people. Number 1, he's targeting intermediate salesmen who want to take their skills to the next level, but he's also targeting info business owners who want their salespeople trained, okay? Now, in terms of the actual niche that he's in, it's obviously in the money-making space, which, guys, this is the best niche that you can be in. The reason for that is because everyone wants to make more money, and it's obviously a very, very strong offer to say, hey, pay me and I'm just going to make you more money, right? Now, I would say it's a very, very strong niche to be in, and I would say that the actual target audience is a good one to sell to as well because they have the buying power. If they're already intermediate salesmen, they're already making a decent amount of money, okay? Now, I don't know where his viewer region is or anything like that, but I would say his audience strength is good. Now, in general, just from the content that he's making, I can probably guess that his viewers are in Europe or in the United States, these kind of countries, North America. The reason for that is because obviously they can be in other countries as well, like the UAE and stuff like that. The reason for that is because in the sales space, you can pretty much take calls from everywhere, but most of the companies that are doing online high ticket sales are generally based in North America, Europe, UAE, stuff like that, okay? So I would say overall his audience and his market is really good, and the only thing that I would say is it's a bit saturated, okay? So in terms of people in this space trying to teach sales, there's a lot of people. So now the question is, are you going to be able to set yourself apart in a way where you do not remind people of others in the space that have burnt them, that have just scammed them, that are not good sales coaches, okay? So we're going to see that. So step 2 is his offer. So what is he actually offering to these people? Now, he says advanced sales coaching. And this can mean either 2 things, okay? It's either one-on-one coaching or group coaching. I would say it's most likely one-on-one coaching, okay? And I would say that his price point is probably between 2 to 4K for 3 months of coaching, okay? So that means like group calls, call reviews, going through your call and seeing, okay, did you handle this objection well and stuff like that. I was in a sales training program myself, so I'm kind of aware of how these offers usually work. And I don't think he's selling something which is like mid-ticket, low-ticket, because I went through his whole funnel, as I'm going to show you guys, and there was nothing of that sort there. Now, how good is this offer of, a high-ticket and 3 months and sales coaching? For sales, it's pretty good because most salesmen need actual live feedback, okay? Feedback is one of the key things, and not just in sales, but in everything, to actually be able to improve. And so I would say that this is good, but could it be better? Yes, and I'm going to break that down as well. So let me go through his landing page real quick, okay? So if you go to his Instagram and you see one of his reels, if you click here in the link in his bio, it's actually 2 things. I would say keep it as just 1 because now when I click here, it adds some bad friction, okay? Bad friction means friction that does not help you qualify the prospect. So for here, this is not qualifying me. I'm having a choice between watching a free training or watching a YouTube video. So maybe I just wanted the free training, or maybe I just wanted the YouTube video. It needs to just be one of them, okay? If you get even one useful thing from this video and you want me to audit your funnel completely for free and show you what to improve in your audience, your offer, your content, your client journey, so that you don't miss out on potentially tens of thousands of dollars just sitting in your audience, and without having to worry about, some kid in their mom's basement getting paid and then doing nothing, then just click the link in the description and book a call. I'll be more than happy to chat. Now, if I click here to the free training, you can see it's basically the type of landing page this is give me your email and I'll let you watch this free training video. Okay, now I gave him my email, and as you can see, this is not a complicated page. Do you want to become incredibly skilled at sales? Very simple tagline. And do I feel like this headline is actually gonna call out his audience, let's say intermediate salesmen? Is it gonna call them out? Yes, of course it is gonna call them out. Is it the best headline? I think it can be better, for sure. I think you can actually call out a bit more pain, because I feel like pain is always a good driver, especially in headlines and stuff like that. It can be anything, like just off the top of my head, like without wasting thousands on coaching, without XYZ, without ABC. And the more specific you can actually talk about your audience's struggle. Okay, so for example, with weight loss, like are you tired of that feeling of having to actually bend down to tie your shoelace, but then you can't actually reach it fully, and then you have to sit down to be able to do it? Obviously, that's like a very specific example, but the more specific you can get with stuff like this, then the better it is. Now, you might be thinking, oh, it's just a headline, like who cares, right? But these things make a bigger difference than you think, okay? Now, here he has a bit of copy about, who this is for, essentially. If you're an ambitious professional who feels capped in your current job and knows you're capable of more, again, that intermediate market, right? Sales rep tired of grinding in low-paying industries, insurance, door-to-door, car, and ready to pivot into high-ticket roles. Again, this is good. Like, this is pain, right? This is also pain because, like, you're capped at your current job. Like, no one wants to be capped. They want to be unlimited, like in their commissions, right? Entrepreneurial minded, so values freedom. This is, again, calling out like their dream outcome, essentially. Someone who's serious about developing elite sales skills, because these skills compound and pay you for life. Now, amazing. Now, this is like good copy. I would say if you can use like some of these in the headline, like for example, if you have the data and you know that most of the people in your coaching are people who are in low-paying industries, then you can just drop that in the headline itself, in my opinion. But either way, I got the free training, so it looks something like this. It's basically a VSL, so it's like, pay me and then watch my VSL and then get sold on booking a call. I think this is kind of good. I don't have a concrete opinion on it yet, just because I want to see what data this actually has. Like, does this actually convert more people? Because usually how it works is you have a VSL on the page and then you have like the booking under, right? Or you have a form first that they have to fill out and then they book it. But here you have to fill out the form first and then you can actually watch the VSL and book a call. Okay, so this is just a calendar right here. More copy here. Testimonials, obviously classic stuff. Good stuff there. I wonder how this is actually performing. I wonder if this performs better than just a typical, VSL and then a form. Now, obviously, there is a bit more qualification in the sense of commitment from the prospect, because they first have to give you their email and then they can watch it. So now they're like, okay, I have to watch this because I just gave them my email. Now, this is all hypothetical. The data only knows best. There's also a lot of things I could say about this page itself specifically, which I'll just say them now. So, for example, here, this video player, I think it's Vimeo or something. I'm not sure. Oh, Wistia. Yeah, this is Wistia. So I would say VTurb or anything that can do something similar to that is the key for these types of VSLs, if you can get it. And the reason is, with VTurb, they have this feature. Now, you might call this shady or whatever you want. I think it's a genius personally, because it's actually helping the prospect. So VTurb has a feature where this timeline will not actually accurately scroll through it. So in the beginning of the video, it's gonna make it look like it's going through this really fast, way faster than it actually is. Then it's gonna slow down throughout the video to make it so that it will catch up and actually end on time. Okay. This makes it so the prospect thinks, okay, this is going to be a quick video, and they're actually going to pay attention and they're actually going to watch and listen. Okay. That's why I think it's a good thing, because it's in benefit of the prospect, instead of them being like, oh my God, this is like 10-minute video when I have to watch all of it, right? And you can even disable it showing the exact time of the video so that the prospect actually watches, okay? That's one thing I would say. Another thing I would say is that you can have a timer. So instead of like, they gave their email, they can either choose to watch this or they can just book a call without even watching it. I would say you can have like a 2-minute timer, 3-minute timer, right? So that once they've seen like a decent part of your VSL, they can actually go down after that timer and book, okay? That means the people that are booking most likely have seen a decent amount of your VSL, because as we know, like on some sales calls, people actually ask the prospect, hey, did you watch that like video I sent you / VSL? If they say no, then they say, okay, cool, I'm gonna get a coffee while you watch the video because this is gonna just save us time on the call, blah blah blah, right? Now that will obviously save time, even more time, because you don't need to do it on the call if you just have a timer there, obviously. So that's one other thing I would say. Your professional growth starts here. Again, pretty generic copy in my opinion, but maybe it doesn't need to be anything crazy here. I still think just going ham on like every piece of copy is good either way, but maybe it doesn't give that much ROI per se in comparison to other things. All right, so I think this is a very interesting landing page. Obviously it's working for the guy, so props to him, but I wonder how this would work compared to just like a generic one, like if there's any difference in ROI and conversion rate. Okay, now that's the landing page breakdown. On X, actually, I found that he has another link which goes to a similar name of a page, but the thing is that it's actually been paused. So I would say just update that link. It takes like 2 seconds, plus anyone somehow finds you on X. I mean, I know he doesn't have that many followers on X compared to other platforms, but it would be good to just update that. And then something interesting I noticed is his TikTok has a link to a different landing page. So his TikTok goes to this landing page, and this one has a different video. It's like a basically role play, which is him pretending to close another guy, which is someone that he's not actually selling, but someone that's just practicing with him. Okay, now these can be very valuable as well for in the sales space, so I think it's good. But I still think a VSL would be better for sure. Not sure why on TikTok he's doing that. Now I did see in one of his tweets he was asking, is there any way to actually monetize TikTok, so to speak, without putting a link to YouTube? Not sure why you would want to do that. I mean, if the goal is to make as much money as possible, then I think routing to YouTube would be the play either way, because then they watch more of your content and then they gain more trust in you. As we know, the average watch time on YouTube is 3 to 4 minutes. On Instagram, it's 5 to 10 seconds. TikTok probably around the same. And so if you route them to a place where they're going to watch longer, then it's always going to be better for you. But it's interesting to see this, different strategy on TikTok, a role play instead of a VSL. Maybe his TikTok content is geared towards role plays. It isn't. I've seen some of these videos and it isn't. So I'm not sure what the play is behind that, but maybe he's just testing something out. Could be interesting. But pretty much the page is exactly the same as the other one, except you get a role play and then you get a call. Okay, and the copy is a bit different as well, and how it looks is a little bit different. Okay, so that's an interesting thing to see, him doing different things. I would say just centralize everything. So I would say just everything to YouTube, and then do a YouTube flywheel VSL, which is basically a really good, like, let's say like 1 hour VSL that you make on YouTube. And then what you do is, once that's uploaded, every new video you upload, you just route it to that. You put the first link in the description of your YouTube video being to that YouTube VSL. And then in that VSL, there's a link to book a call / get onto the offer page, essentially. Okay, so that YouTube flywheel system is one that is being used a lot, and it's performing well as well. I think the short form going into long form should be a must as well for creators. I know some creators might be worried that, oh, I'm gonna lose like business because a lot of my business is coming from Instagram, and people are clicking the link on Instagram, going directly to my offer page and everything. Thing is with that, yes, it might decrease like in the short term the amount of money that you're making, but it will definitely increase your revenue in the long term, because people are going to watch more of your content. There's no way that watching more of your content is going to somehow result in less purchases. Okay, now step 3 is his actual content itself. Okay, I think we pretty much covered everything on the offer. There might be a few more things which I have on step 5 for you guys, but Yeah, so step 3 is content. His Instagram content is obviously short form. He has a mix of a lot of different styles in here, which I like personally, having this mix of styles. There's a lot of podcast style, but then he has some testimonials of himself, of other people. He has some random one. He has tweets in there as well, which are always good, because you don't need to actually make a whole video. You just write a tweet and then you basically just post it as a reel on Instagram. You can even post it as a carousel, but I personally prefer the ones that are posted as reels, because then they'll pop up on like the reel thing as well, instead of just being a post. Now, in terms of other stuff, he has like whiteboard style stuff, you know, like where it's like his camera and then under like the other half it's like a whiteboard. He has live calls, and there's a lot more. Okay, I would say all of his content is in line with his audience. He has like comment CTA ones as well, which is great. Those can perform really well as well. If you have like one really good comment CTA reel, I've seen ones with like 20k comments, guys. Like this can be something insane to have in your repertoire. And I mean, it's not that much difficult. Just give something extremely valuable as like a lead magnet and get people to comment, and then you have like a bunch of leads there. Obviously, you need to make sure you're giving the right thing and that people get qualified and all that, but I digress. So is his content aligned? Yes, it's aligned. Is it calling out the biggest pain points? Yes, I watch his content and it is. If you guys want to, obviously feel free to watch his content as well and see. Now, overall, good, but I feel like the reach could be better. So if I go to Instagram, you can see his pinned ones obviously have good views, but like his latest ones, pretty decent likes and stuff. Obviously, just keep in mind, the most important thing is that the right people are seeing this, okay? If salespeople are seeing this, if intermediate salespeople are seeing this, that's the most important thing. However, I feel like there's a lot more people in this intermediate sales space that this doesn't reach, and we need to know why it's not reaching it, right? Again, you go into the analytics of the videos. Instagram provides you the tools to be able to do that. You can see, you know, the average watch time. You can see, you know, if it's how many followers versus non-followers and all that. And you need to use that data to actually improve your content and make something that will go a bit more viral. Not viral like getting millions of views, but you never know. Like the sales space is big. It could reach that point. But there, I feel like there's definitely a lot more untapped potential in there. Now, on his YouTube channel, okay, so on his YouTube channel, I hate when Myro does this, but anyway, on his YouTube channel, it's obviously long form content. As you can see, thumbnails look decent and titles look decent as well. A lot of testimonial videos in here for sure. As you can see, there's one here, the one here, the one here, right? All good stuff. Like, honestly, doesn't hurt to upload that. There's a lot of evergreen ones in there as well. All the topics are aligned with the audience, which is good. This is like the most important thing with your niche. And I would just say that the framework of pain, proof, promise, picture, pain, I would say it is used. I watch his videos and he pretty much nails it, and I like that. And he has good editing on his videos as well, which all of this, guys, by the way, like all the stuff that I've covered so far is compounding to get people to gain more trust in him and actually buy his mentorship. Okay, this all works together. The smallest details, they all add up. Is it aligned? Yes, 100% it's aligned. Is it calling out the biggest pain points? Yes, I believe it is, right? And he even is using the YouTube flywheel system. So if I go to one of his videos on his YouTube channel, let's say this one, this testimony,
You're working on it.
See here, the first link is the flywheel, and then, you know, if people want to just go directly to his landing page, then they have it here. One play could be, you know, just remove this line, just have the flywheel only, and I mean, only the data will tell what works better. But I get the idea of having the landing page on the second line as well. But if you click this,
I learned that the secret
20-minute VSL, and this VSL has the landing page in it. Okay, so this is a pretty classic YouTube flywheel system. Let me just open that back up again.
I learned.
Okay, cool. So as you can see, the link is indeed visible before read more. So the landing page link is visible before read more, and the only thing I would say is to add it on the pinned comment. And probably it's good to actually do this on the other videos too. So let me just mute this so it doesn't pop up the voice again. But if we go to his channel, so this is the other video, I will just drop pinned comment as well, 100%, because it doesn't hurt. It doesn't take any effort to do, and people will click on it that didn't click on the description. You know what I mean? Some people just don't go to the description. Plus, on mobile, on some phones, you won't actually even be able to see the description unless you actually click to open up the description. So none of these links will be visible on mobile. Okay. Now, that's why the pinned comment is important. Now, in terms of content, honestly, I don't have much to say other than dial it in and figure out what exactly is causing it not to get more views. He's already getting good views, don't get me wrong, but I know for a fact that there can be more. Now, step 4 is the client journey. What does it look like knowing nothing about this man and actually buying something from him? Okay, so you will either stumble upon his Instagram or his YouTube organically because he's not running any ads. Okay, so that's the only way right now that you will actually stumble upon him is organically. This is his Meta Ads library account. As you can see, no ads being run here. And so you will either get recommended him on YouTube or Instagram. Okay, now main landing page, just one link in the bio, which is amazing. I'm talking about on YouTube. So on Instagram, as you know, he has 2 links in his bio, but on YouTube there's just one, which is good. You just click it and it opens up. I would say Instagram, change that to your YouTube flywheel, and then change the other links like on X and everything, TikTok as well. Change that to your YouTube flywheel as well. That's what I would personally say. Okay. Now, obviously he has the data, but that's my personal recommendation. I have faith in that. Now, how it works is you start watching a bit of his content. Maybe you binge a bit of it. Maybe you see, okay, what's this guy about? Maybe you just follow him and then you see his content over time. Okay, that's kind of like the client journey. And then you eventually click on the landing page. Okay, now the landing page says, give me your email. I'll give you even more content. I'll give you a VSL essentially. And then, sorry, let me just fix that. So it says, yep, give me your email. I'll give you a VSL. And then you can book a call. And then you get emails. Okay, so basically you can either give email and then watch the video and then book a call, or you give the email and then you just book a call like I mentioned earlier, and you skip the VSL, which may lead to people having to, watch it on sales calls. I would say obviously just put a timer and you get rid of that. Now, he's not running ads, so obviously I show this here. He's not running ads, and he's definitely sending emails. So once you actually book a call, you will get emails. I will say that obviously send emails to people who have not booked, but they showed interest. So if someone went on the page, they gave their email to watch the VSL, send them emails to get them to book a call to nurture them to that next stage in the client journey. Okay. He's definitely doing that. But to be honest, I just haven't checked my email to see if he gave me more, but you know what? I'm just gonna do that right now. Okay, so I just checked my email and I haven't even got one email from him yet, which is kind of weird. But maybe he's just waiting. Maybe he's just doing it to the people who book a call. But I still think people who obviously showed interest by giving their email need to get emails. Maybe there's something wrong on my end. I'm not sure. So don't quote me on that. But from what I just checked on multiple of my accounts, I did not get an email. There's also SMS, obviously. I would highly recommend using SMS. Now, don't spam in SMS. You can spam a bit more in emails. When I say spam, I don't mean 3 emails every single day. There are times when you can do 3 emails a day, like let's say you're doing a launch, but that's not really what we're talking about. SMS, definitely send less SMS than emails, just because there are very strict rules on SMS and the A2P and all that stuff. I would say have a setter to confirm as well the meeting. Now, I didn't book a call with him to see this, but having a setter once someone books a call to then confirm the call like within the first couple of minutes of someone booking is great, because then like with much more certainty that person is going to show up. Okay, I would also send resources and nurture them during the time before they get onto the call. So based on the gap between when they actually booked a call, between that time period and when their call is, you need to be nurturing them. You need to be sending them something so they don't forget. And I'm going to talk about something called a hammer them sequence in a second. But I actually just wanted to check his booking, if there's 3 days available, or if it's just, how does it work exactly? Just refresh this. Yeah, so he's doing the 3 days thing, which is really good. Looks like 4 days. The reason that he's doing this, by the way, why is there only the next 1, 2, 3, 4 days essentially available? The reason for that is because the closer a user books a call from today, like the day that it is now, the more likely they are to show up. The further out it gets, the less likely it gets that people show up. Okay, so that's why you ideally would just want to keep your calendar open for like 3 days, so that people can only book within that time period and they're much more likely to show. Okay, now continuing on the client journey here, they might get a call from a setter, they might get some SMSs, some emails, some things to nurture and stuff, and then they eventually get on the call. Now on the call, they will either close or they won't close. Okay, if they close, then do they get sold something after that, like for example continuity after their mentorship ends? Are there any upsells, stuff like that? These are very important to just absolutely maximize revenue, right? Let's say 3-month program, 2K, and then after that you can pay 100 a month and you still get access to XYZ and ABC. That's continuity. You can even drop that into the contract, like this will automatically start, this $100 a month will automatically start at the end of your contract. Obviously people have the choice to cancel that, but that's something that could be deadly as well, just adds up over time, right? And makes it so that you're still actually making money from people. By obviously make sure you're providing them something of value, but yeah. And then upsells, just like more things, like in-person stuff, one-on-one stuff, master classes as they call it, or meetups or whatever. Definitely would be good to do those as well. Now if they don't close, they should definitely get onto a specific nurture sequence for that. This is called the scholarship offer. Basically, if someone doesn't close, you email them and you say, hey, you didn't close, but like we wanted you to close. Obviously don't word it like that, but you essentially say, here's a XYZ amount discount for actually getting on the call and attending and showing that you're taking action. This is like the last thing that we can give you is a scholarship. Or you can, the way that I've actually had it worded in one of the companies I was closing for, which I found genius, is they would send an email with the scholarship offer, essentially saying that, hey, I spoke to boss and he actually said that we have XYZ spots open for a scholarship offer, and I know that you were interested in this, so I just wanted to like offer it to you. Genius. And a lot of people show interest after that as well, so definitely need to make sure that there's no leaks in the funnel by doing stuff like this. Now, as X has not as much content, it's mostly text-based stuff, which is good, but it's not his focus, and honestly it's not the biggest deal. I just like scroll through here if you want to see some stuff. But yeah, he has some videos too, but most of his stuff is just like tweets and stuff like that, obviously. Okay, cool. So that's his client journey. Now here are my final thoughts. Overall, obviously great. Now keep in mind, this is obviously 100K a month funnel from what I understand. Niche is amazing, just a bit saturated, so I feel like he needs to feel different to the other coaches. Okay, a lot of coaches nowadays are actually doing webinars, and webinars can be deadly if you do them right. And there is obviously a whole system and a whole way of doing webinars for maximum conversions, right? But do I feel like he's that different to other coaches? Not really, personally, no. It's not like you need to be, obviously it's working for him, right? But I feel like the sales space in general, salespeople are always buying mentorships. Okay, they're always like looking to improve their skills, and they have the actual buying power to be able to do so. Okay, so stuff like this will just work if you have a decent amount of proof, which he has, and you show that you're competent in your videos. Now his offer is pretty standard, and again, it works, right? It's high ticket, directly to high ticket, and everything else that he has, all the content, all of that is basically a stepping stone to that. Do I think this is the smoothest? Sorry. Do I think that something else could work better? I think an attraction offer could be deadly. It's just about having the capacity and the volume to be able to handle it. Something like Win Your Money Back, like, could be just disgusting with salespeople, or even a giveaway could be disgusting, because disgusting in a good way. And the reason for that is obviously Win Your Money Back itself is just, it attracts so many people because of how good of an offer it is. And salespeople obviously need to keep improving their skills, so it is a long-term goal for them. And this definitely could work into that. You would just need to make sure you have the capacity to take on as many people as possible, to be able to upsell as many people as possible there too. Now there is also pay less now, pay more later, and that could go hand in hand with webinars. So you basically say pay $0 now, and once you learn to handle this objection at the end of this webinar, then you can pay me $200. And then once they actually sign up, they put their card as like they have to put their card to sign up, but they don't get charged. On the thank you page of that, you can basically say, okay, you can either choose to do the pay later, which is 200, or you can pay now 100, which is half, and you get bonus 1, bonus 2, bonus 3, and they actually, a lot of people will take that, and so you have money now and you have money at the end of the webinar as well. Okay, this can be deadly because why? It takes the risk off of the person. Okay, if I know for a fact at the end of this I'm going to be able to handle the objection, I will pay for it. If I'm not able to, then I don't pay for it. That's kind of like the guarantee in this situation. There has to be a guarantee, right? But that's why it can be so good, because it removes the risk off of the client. This all plays into the value equation as well. But yeah, so webinars, obviously keep in mind that don't just like do a webinar by yourself. Do some research on how webinars work, because that's a whole can of worms, as they say, in itself. Now, I would obviously just fix the links in his other socials, and I would use a smoother upsell, so like using some sort of credit, one-time offer, stuff like that. Just because going straight from 0 to high ticket, even though this is salespeople, it doesn't mean that a smoother system wouldn't work better. It's all about testing it and seeing the results. Now, pretty much all links do go to one location though, like to be fair to him, except the TikTok one. And I would just say, yeah, redirect short form to the flywheel, and make sure that all the flywheel links and YouTube links and everything go to the same landing page. His content is good. It's in line with his audience, mix of styles. It's just missing the pinned comment on YouTube, and maybe figuring out why he's not getting more reach. Landing pages are good. I like the way that it works. It's a very interesting system. I've seen other people do it as well, obviously. And it's basically, give me your email first. Now that you're kind of committed, you're going to watch the video. Maybe having a timer there as well with that could make it even better. And then you book a call. Now, email and SMS reminders are probably there as well. I would say definitely have automated ones, but then also have manual ones. Okay, there's a service called SendBlue, and they basically make sure that the texts that you send people, you can automate them, but they're also blue, and you can do manual ones as well. Now, I haven't actually used this, but this is what people have told me about SendBlue. Essentially, regardless of whether you use SendBlue or not, you want to make sure that the manual texts you send, first of all, send manual texts. Second of all, make sure you're sending a blue text, because that will just make someone feel, okay, there's a human behind this. Okay, you can have the setters do this. You don't need to do this yourself. Obviously, it depends on the size of your business, but one of the setters' job could be like 6 hours before send a manual, and then 1 hour before send a manual text as well. You can even do like 24 hours before as well, just to have a chat, make it human, and people will actually show up. The show up rate will increase a lot just by doing that, as you can imagine. So I would say as well to have the correct tags. So like obviously different sequences for people who booked, and people who did not book but they gave you your email, and just people who came onto the call but did not buy, people who didn't even show up, like people who one possibility I forgot to mention earlier is that someone can book a call but then they might not actually show up to the call. So then you need sequences for that, not the scholarship one, because the scholarship one's for someone who actually came onto the call. Now, the setter can obviously confirm as well bookings, and also call people who did not book. So instead of just having email sequences and SMS sequences for people who went on the page but they didn't book. So for example, me, I gave my email and I went onto the VSL page, but I didn't book a call. Someone calling me to be like, hey, I saw like you filled out this form. Are you interested? Like, what's going on? That is deadly as well, because you have them there. If you call them very early within the first minute of them opting in, then it obviously makes it so that your call booking rate increases, and therefore your revenue obviously will increase the more bookings you have, right? If all the variables stay the same. Now, I want to talk about the hammer them sequence. So let's say someone books a call. You want to hammer them with content, okay? What do I mean by this? I don't mean like spam every 2 seconds. I mean, you want to send them emails with content. You want to send them ads. If you're running ads, like you can have like an ad sequence specifically just for people who booked calls. And that's on Facebook. You can set it up like that. And then they will just be seeing you everywhere essentially, and they won't forget. And it also builds even more trust, right, as they watch the content. So definitely hammer them sequence is key. You want to give them emails with like either just text content, or you can even give them videos to watch on the emails. So yeah, definitely have a hammer them sequence. The goal obviously with this is to make people consume as much of your content prior to the sales call, which even increases the chance that they close, not only the chance that they show up. Obviously I mentioned the 2 to 3 minute timer, and I mentioned the TikTok bio link. The client journey is decent. Probably find him through organic is always good because you didn't need to get someone's attention via an ad. Ads are good to make CTAs, so if you have organic set up already, if you have ads, then it's just gonna make it so that you can do the CTAs on the ads, and then on the organic it's just organic, no CTAs. That's a strategy. I still think you should have CTAs in organic, because it's just, why not? You just take 10 seconds in the video, make a CTA. It's going to increase the number of people that click for sure. And you can have the ads for the CTAs too. Doesn't hurt. And taking 10 seconds in the video, no one's going to stop watching because of that, right? I would say add an attraction offer as well, just because I feel like it would just be deadly. If he doesn't have continuity, definitely add continuity in there as well. So for example, like after your mentorship is done, like I mentioned, you pay $100 a month and you get access to all of these things, like stack the value. But obviously it's not the same as the actual high ticket mentorship. And then obviously send manual text, blue text, and do the scholarship offer as well. To scale, I would say his biggest limiter, guys, is the traffic. If you're at that stage where you're already making a decent amount and you just want to actually scale it up, obviously what we can identify here is the amount of traffic that he's getting, because most of the other things are working. I would say the second limiter after the traffic is the way that his offer is set up. Personally, that's my opinion. So I feel like if those two were nailed, like it could just be deadly. Like if you had to win your money back and you sorted out traffic, like those two together could just be absolutely deadly. Obviously there's different perspectives always to take. So for example, instead of win your money back, let's say you have like a low ticket offer. That could be something to look at as well, and like setting up the funnel so that's like the first thing, and then doing the upsells and everything after that is obviously an option as well. But with sales, high ticket is usually the play. Now, in terms of the YouTube views, I would say sorting that out should be the number one priority, because I think the biggest limiter is traffic. So if we go to his YouTube channel, his views are decent, obviously, like 471, 2K, 1.8K, 1.6K. These are pretty decent views, right? But I feel like, imagine he was getting like 10K, 20K per video, like 10xing the views essentially. That would essentially 10x his business. So I would say definitely sorting out the YouTube views should be priority, and then making sure that you can handle the volume once it starts coming in. Obviously that's a good problem to have, but yeah. So guys, that's my thoughts on it. Overall, great. If you just literally copy what this guy is doing, then you can definitely have something similar. And yeah, if you have any questions or anything like that, drop it in the comments. And if you want me to do a full audit of your funnel and exactly point out what's going on, what you can improve, click the link in the description and book a call, and we'll talk soon.